Kia ora everybody, and welcome to our fifth podcast in the Thriving Voices, Thriving People series. This podcast is dedicated to giving you a quick update on moving beyond diversity collaboration. We've just had our second hui, so we thought we'd just give you a quick update, some key insights from that session, and what we can look forward to in the next 5 weeks before the third and final hui, which takes place on the 7th of September. So let's get straight into it.
Perfect.
So, as I said, it was our second hui, and do you want to just give us some reflections on what the expectations were for that session?
Yeah, absolutely. So what everyone who had come along to the first hui did in between the first and the second was have some conversations with people within their business. And so we called those empathy interviews, and it was really about understanding people's examples of inclusion and then also exclusion in the workplace. And so each conversation was about half an hour. People had between sort of 2 and 4 conversations, and then came back and started to share some of the themes of the stories that they'd heard. There was obviously positives and negatives to those stories, but the overall sense from everyone was that it was a real privilege to be able to get so much vulnerability and so much detail in terms of people's experiences in the workplace. Often they hadn't met the people before, and just the level of sharing in an immediate way was really generous of those people. So we were grateful for that. And then once everyone had sort of shared what the stories are that they had heard, we started to theme some of those shared challenges of people. And then from there went into a rapid prototyping process. And I think we both thought that the prototypes were pretty interesting. Were there any standout ones for you?
Gosh, there was a few. I think firstly was just the importance of storytelling in terms of telling or sharing the lived experience from different people within the workplace to really shine a light on the lived experiences, so it builds understanding and empathy. So I thought that was a real focus for several of the prototypes. I'm really excited to see where those go and what are the insights from the testing.
Yeah.
How about your thoughts?
I think in a similar theme, it was just connecting with people, and so we had a couple of organisations keen to look at a buddy program of sorts, where you're connecting more operational parts of the business with some of the corporate parts. Sometimes there's that divide between areas, and so breaking down some of those silos and barriers. So it'll be exciting to hear from those people how those conversations have gone.
So in terms of next steps, obviously we're preparing for the third hui, very excited. So what can we expect from those participants from now until that third hui? What are they going to be doing?
So they will be prototyping. So for, say, the example around storytelling, it's starting to look at how in a small, short period of 6 weeks can you get a storytelling process underway and a minimum viable product. So it doesn't have to be big and fancy, but how can we check that prototype of storytelling is of value to that business? And so everyone will run a prototype and then come back to hui 3 and just share the successes, the challenges and the learnings from that prototyping process, with the aim that out of the third hui we would work with them to be able to scale that up and share it as an offering across the membership base more broadly.
And I think it's there that's our unique value add in terms of the whole aim of this process, is that we can create greater collective impact that no single organisation can deliver in isolation.
Absolutely, and I think creating those connections and supporting people to bridge the gap where maybe they feel there's a gap for them as an organisation, that we can connect them with other people who are slightly further along the journey, that's part of our role as well. And hopefully these vlogs are a useful component of that, to showcase some of the leadership and the different elements of moving beyond diversity.
So on that point, over to you. We want to hear from you. What are some of the issues that you would like us to cover? Who are some of the leaders that you would like to hear from? And would you like to host one of these vlogs like DB Breweries have this week? We'd like to hear from you. So until our next hui, please get in touch and go well. Kia ora.